Okay folks, so last year I tried Lanoguard underbill to try and reduce the corrosion that was building up. This Lanoguard treatment, if you're familiar with it. Now, it's supposed to be done every year, which is fine, but it's quite expensive. Came with the kit with the Lanoguard grease, which I put on the heavy areas where your shackles of your suspension and the heavy parts of the steering and stuff put on, and it seemed to have been not too bad, and it's kind of stays. But most of the areas of the chassis and that was sprayed with the Lanoguard spray just looked like they did last year before I put the spray on. There was corrosion had started. I had a quick look under it over the winter. It was about this time last year I did it, and I wasn't that impressed. It does work, but I wasn't heavily impressed. So this year now I've used, I'll show you. So I used this year Aquasteel. I've used this before, and as it shows you, that's what it goes like after it's been painted on. You don't take all the corrosion off, you take all the loose dust, oil, dirt, etc. Can't remember what it cost, but this was, I think it was less than the actual Lanoguard cost for a 1 litre one. And I also put, in some bits I put, I brushed it on. So we'll see what that turns out like. So here we have underneath bill at the rear, which was covered with Lanoguard last year. There's no sign of that Lanoguard now, and that's some of the areas been wire brushed, and it wasn't looking too healthy. So I really wasn't too impressed with the Lanoguard. So now here we're spraying on some Aquasteel. I'm going to try this treatment, spray it on, and I will brush it on. That will then go hard after 24 hours, and I'm going to give it a coating of tetroseal after that. Now I normally wouldn't use tetroseal, certainly not on rust, but once the Aquasteel has cured, I'm hoping it will give a better protection than we had last year with the Lanoguard. So you'll see in the pictures what the underneath on the chassis was like before. After, that's a year after it had the Lanoguard on it. I wasn't that impressed. There appeared to be more corrosion, and again I went over it all, wire brushed it like I did the previous year, and then coated it with Lanoguard. This year I coated it with the Aquasteel. I sprayed on the Aquasteel, put on some with a brush and had to reach places, and I've coated it with underseal, well, tetroseal, sprayed on tetroseal. So I'll let let you see what it's like underneath. Now, obviously I waited for the Aquasteel 24 hours to produce a solid surface, that black surface as you've seen in the picture of the on the bottom. Then I then coated it with the tetroseal. So sprayed on with that. And I also did actual floor. So there it is. I don't know you've seen that. Okay. I just put a thin coat. I don't like the really thick coats under seal. It looks like it's hiding something, but you can clearly see everything there. Okay. So it's looking quite good. The real challenge will be next year, what it looks like next year. Okay, so it's looking quite good at the moment. The treatment is alright. So hopefully that's given it a bit more protection than we had. The Lanoguard. It is what it is. The Lanoguard needs done every year. Salty, horrible Scottish roads, and with salt on them for a good few number of months, didn't seem to go very well with it. The salt was just, I think it really almost dissolved the Lanoguard off. Water's fine, but I say I had a quick look underneath Bill about January, February, and the Lanoguard appeared to have been gone, other than on the areas with the Lanoguard crease. Not for me, I don't recommend it, but we'll see what the Aquasteel and tetroseal looks like. Obviously never put tetroseal over rusty areas without treatment, because all you're doing is you're trapping in the rust underneath, and any moisture, just you'll end up hiding the rust basically. So that's not recommended. Anyway, that's what we've done this year, and we'll look at it next year and see how it's done. Bye for now.